Hi, and thanks for requesting a copy of my Progress Tracker template. So I got this copy by just clicking on File and Make a Copy, and that's how I got this one. Then just change the name to match what you need it to be. I've made this in Google Sheets. Most of it is through drop-down menus. So you go to Insert and a drop-down. And that will then give you the options. So if you make a copy, they'll already be there. So across the top for each learning intention or learning objective or learning standard or lesson unit or whatever you're calling it, I have my on pace, behind pace or ahead of pace. So behind pace and ahead of pace. So I change that and just so that when you open up the tracker, the students can see where they're up to. For the must-dos, should-dos, and aspire to do's and mastery. The drop-down menu is kept very simple. They can have started something or completed something, or they might decide they need help, and students or me can respond. When it gets to mastery, they can have mastered it or they need to revise. You can see the shocking pink is pretty obvious. The way those drop-down menus work, if I go into the edit button there, you can see that I've put a little emoji that I've cut and pasted from a Word document or a Google Doc, and the word mastered, and it's a drop-down menu. So that's in every box that the students can alter. Except for the mastery, because in the columns E, J and O, I've protected those columns. So when you want to protect a column, you just have to go to Data and Protect Sheets or Ranges. And when you do that, you can select the sheet and the range that you're using, or just highlight the column you want, and you set the permissions. And you just go in and give it a custom permissions that's only you, or it just depends how many people you want to access that, but not the students, so that you have a record for the mastery check that is a true and valid one. So I'll just close those up. So that's how to get the drop-down menus. You'll notice that these cells over here are fully coloured, whereas the drop-down menus are kind of lozenge shaped. So what I did for this was include some conditional formatting. So if you go to Format and Conditional Formatting, you can see that I've picked my 5 colours that I'm using, and I've just conditionally formatted them. If they contain the text which matches the drop-down menu, then it gives them a different colour. And none of the students in my class have got those letter combinations in their name, otherwise their cell would light up too. So you can change those colours to match whatever you want by going in to there and then just picking a different colour, different fill colour down the bottom, and that would apply to all of the bits that you change. If you want to copy this for your own class, you can see that there's space for lots of students here. You might have multiple classes, in which case you go down to the Sheets tab at the bottom down here, where the Sheet tab is, and add another sheet for different classes maybe. Or you can just have extra rows. You might have more standards, in which case you might want to hold the Shift key down and copy a whole block across. And dump it into the next bit here, so you have a whole new learning intention or learning standard or learning objective. Call that number 4, and then you're ready to go for the next bit. So the only last bit I need to show you is how to share it with your students. So come up to the share up here, make sure that your access is anyone with the link and that they can edit. So remember, you've already protected some columns, so they can edit all the other bits. Yep, and I haven't had any problems with my students doing that. Once we've had a conversation about them, any consequences should they abuse that power. So usually the consequences, you have to come and talk to me, and that is deterrent enough. Yeah, so if you have any questions, just get in contact with me, and yeah, I hope it works in your classroom.